What's up, VC, people around the world, YouTubers, trolls? This is Bobby who's spitting the truth about records. Today's video will be about a rare 70s soul record that I've been looking for a long time, and they finally decided to, reissue it. But for those that watch me, you guys already know that, I'll talk about that for a hot minute, and then I'll show you some soul records. So let's get to it. For those that watch me, you guys know how I like to start things off. I like to start things off with the featured record of the day. Featured record of the day is Jill Scott's Who is Jill Scott? Now, guys and girls out there, you should pick this one up before it goes out of print. This is a wonderful album by Jill Scott. They have it now on blue vinyl. But it's neo-soul genre. This is another one. Grab this one before it gets out of print and becomes $100 to $200 record. Jill Scott is wonderful. Wonderful neo-soul voice. She's been around for a long time. This one came out in 2000. This one is worth checking out. All of it's good. It's not, it doesn't have a hip-hop vibe for those who don't like that sort of stuff. You can still dig this. Who is Jill Scott? Pick it up. Don't be afraid to. Well, this is the one that I've been talking about. This is the one that I've been waiting for. Honey and the Bees. Now, Honey and the Bees is a soul group out of the 70s. Philly soul. This record was released in 1970, but it's really 60s doo-wop. It's smooth, it's good. It's a freaking wonderful record to listen to. This one is being released in 2,000 copies because this was not a big record, but it is a good record. A lot of you will like this. It's off the Josie label. They have this one on Honey vinyl. It's 25 bucks. But I'll tell you one thing. Before this reissue, the original pressings of this go in the $300 range. You cannot find this record anywhere. This is a rare record. Can't get it anywhere else. These girls were phenomenal. And the band, you may recognize some of these names. Norman Harris on guitar, Ronnie Baker on bass, Roland Chambers on guitar and sitar, Leon Huff on piano, Wilbert Hart, Lenny Pakula. Great band. Great, soul girl group. Totally underrated. Totally forgotten. And I'm so glad that they finally reissued this one to get this out there for people to get a listen to. I mean, this is $25 in the stores now. If you like that, 60s doo-wop soul, I mean, it was released in the 70s, but it just does not cater to that sound characteristic. It just doesn't. But it's good, though. It's, it's like the Supremes, the Crystals. It's got that type of vibe. It's really, really good stuff. Next up, I wanted to show you guys some records that, of another artist that's recently being reissued out there right now. Ann Peebles, Can't Stand the Rain. This is a Zia special edition. Can't Stand the Rain is a phenomenal classic soul record. This is on the purple vinyl Zia. But for those that don't know about Ann Peebles, I'll school you a little bit. Ann Peebles was on the High label with Al Green. And this record, you know how Al Green, you're probably familiar with Al Green. He's got that funky, the horns, the organ and stuff like that. On this record, she's got a lot of that same band playing on here. So this record is as funky as Al Green, and it's equally dope. It should be checked out. For those hip-hop fans, the younger cats, in my generation, I Can't Stand the Rain, you'll recognize that. Missy Misdemeanor Elliott, or whatever she calls herself these days, sampled Can't Stand the Rain, and that's where she got the sample from. But this version is way better than Missy Misdemeanor Elliott's. This is another one. grab this one before it gets out of print. The OGs can be had for you know, $40 to $60. This version is not that bad. The OGs are obviously better, but the sound quality on this one isn't really bad. And if you're not too picky with that sort of stuff, pick up the Zia 40 purple vinyl. You know, you get a collector's item, and it's like 20 to 25 bucks. It's worth it. It's not bad. Also, more coming at you from Ann Peoples, straight from the heart. This is a reissue that I have. I picked it up because it was a sealed copy. Why not? Off the High label. This is another record that's phenomenal. It's great. It's actually so great that Speaker's Corner reissued it. Now, I didn't spring for the Speaker's Corner because the OGs and this reissue sounds phenomenal. No need to upgrade or think it can be bettered. Although, you never know. But Ann Peoples, straight from the heart, this is another album that is a must pick up if you like that type of sound. If you are an Al Green fan, you like the sound coming off that High label, Ann Peoples is another one. Phenomenal singer. Not a lot of people talk about it. She's almost forgotten, and it's terrible. But I'm glad they're starting to reissue some of her stuff because it's phenomenal. And everybody out there in the VC, or everybody out there in the world will, you know, dig it. And for those that don't know, the VC is the vinyl community. You know, when I first started making videos 2 months ago, I'm like, what? VC? What the heck does that stand for? But yeah, that's what it is. Also, in the recent, you know, news, I figured I'd, you know, show some Pharoah Sanders records that, you know, are kind of underrated. He just recently passed away. He was one of the, you know, great saxophone player. You know, played some alto, played some, you know, soprano, and he played a little bit of everything. But, you know, this is a record that most people don't show, and I think you guys should check this one out because it's cool as hell. Pharoah Sanders, Love Will Find a Way. You know, I have a lot of other, I have Themby, you know, I have a Greatest Hits, but this is a record that most people don't show, so I figured I would show it. Love Will Find a Way. To show you guys, you know, what's on this one, I mean, obviously, the title track, Love Will Find a Way. He also has a version of Marvin Gaye's Got to Give It Up on it, which is, I mean, it's phenomenal. But he also has, you know, Love Is Here, Faromba, As You Are, Answer My Love, and Everything I Have Is Good. This album is smooth in a way to describe it, but with Pharoah on sax, you kind of already know what to expect. You're gonna expect a good, you know, listen. You're gonna be entertained. The dude is just a phenomenal saxophone player. You guys will love this. Pharoah Sanders, Love Will Find a Way. Also, for some of my other friends out there in the VC, you know that I already, you know, kind of showed this record. I actually mailed a copy to a friend of mine, McCoy Tyner's Extensions. Now this is in dire need of a reissue because this record is so damn phenomenal. They're reissuing, they reissued his expansions, they reissued some of his other stuff, but this is the damn album. This is the record. It looks like the cover of National Geographic. The song off this record to listen to is Message from the Nile. That song is bananas. Everybody out there will love it. Original Blue Note. This record is so slept on. I mean, just to give you an idea of the musicians that are, you know, played on this one. You got McCoy Tyner on piano, Alice Coltrane on harp, Wayne Shorter on tenor and soprano saxophone, Ron Carter on bass, Elvin Jones on drum. You know who Elvin Jones is, right? That dude will tear it up on the drums. You also got Gary Bartz at alto saxophone. This album, if you can find it, grab it. Because the prices of these are starting to go up because they haven't reissued it. And I do not know why. They need to start paying attention because this one needs to be reissued ASAP. But if you are familiar or you're curious about the record and want to know if it's for you or if it's not, hit up Spotify, YouTube, however you roll. Check out Message from the Nile. That is the tune. But I warn you, it's a pretty long jam. It'll zone you out for a while, but isn't that the best music we like? Next up is another record that everybody's shown in the VC. Well, not really everybody, but a few good people have showed it. But I'm suggesting you guys grab it before it goes out of print because it's a classic. Erykah Badu's Baduism. They're already the prices are starting to climb up to over like $40 to $50, and you want to grab this one before it gets out of print. She put out this record when she was pregnant with Andre 3000, who's the lead singer of Outkast, or lead rapper, whatever you want to call it. This record, for those, boomers and those older people out there, this is not like hip-hop vibe. This is neo-soul. It's like, if you heard this, you would think this album was recorded in the 70s. That's what you would think. It is just a phenomenal sound all around. I cannot say good enough things about this album. There's a lot of good tracks on it. A lot of people have talked about it. But the song off this record, every song on this record is pretty damn good. But Other Side of the Game, that's the tune if you want to gauge yourself whether you want to buy this record or not. Erykah Badu's Other Side of the Game. Put that one on Spotify or YouTube. You'll buy the record. Alright guys, this is Bobby who's spitting the truth about records. That's all I got for you. Hope to make another video soon. Deuces.